morning, Wareham. It is Friday, August 2nd, and I have a fantastic show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. This morning, Nadia Karitnakova, our weekly news correspondent, is in the studio to digest the week's news and events. Also, catch up with the Gateman with Addison Van Patten, our Gateman reporter. Noah Wombat shares what he knows about cellulite this morning. In addition, the Glass Horse Project is in the studio to talk about Much Ado About Nothing, their recent play. But first, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning set. So stay tuned because the weather and the news headlines are next. I got sunshine and no rain. Today is going to be high at 82 degrees. Tonight, low at 67. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine with high at 83 and with some clouds at night or some showers, even thunderstorms with low at 68. Sunday, partly cloudy, high near 85. Sunday night will be low at 64. That's all for today's weather report. The news headlines are next. Wareham Weekly newspaper had the following that it is cover. Marion Wareham Waste Disposal District members had a meeting to discuss whether the districts should continue after 2020. Their contract in 2020 expires. The discussions felt stymied as members lacked information on how much users might have to pay for stickers to use the waste disposal district's transfer stations. The district gets around 95% of its revenue from CMAS. It is considering upgrades to the Rochester transfer station, including new electricity and an improved access road. Between the two pending changes, the sticker fees that it charges for residents in all three towns to use the station will increase in 2020. However, they are not sure how much the increase will be. Also, Wareham voters will take electronic voting for a test drive at October 28th town meeting. Town moderator Claire Smith and other officials have for several years been looking into a system that would allow anonymous button pushing voting. On Tuesday, selectmen gave the go-ahead to a trial of such a system at this year's Fall Towns meeting. Wareham town officials took the initiative to adopt electronic voting 5 years ago, but due to high prices caused by low competition in the service, the town didn't have enough funds to sponsor the change. And Cupcake Bakery is coming to Wareham. Cupcake Charlie's co-owners Penny and her husband / partner Danny Lesser have asked for a common visual license to start their business here in Wareham. They are anticipating of opening their doors at the end of this summer at Wareham Crossing on 2421 Cranberry Highway. Besides cupcakes, they are going to offer a slew of other goodies. That's all for this morning's news. Stay with us. We'll be back with more. And when we talk about toys special for children with autism, what do we mean by it? How are they different?
So they're sensory-based toys. So they can, like the jewelry, they can chew on it.
Okay.
And it's made for that. Or the lap pads, they're weighted, and the animals, they're weighted. And children with sensory, some of them, the weight calms them. Some of them need compression. Some of them need weight. Some of them need something cold. So it's a matter on finding what works for what kid.
Now, you're not only a businesswoman, but you also, as I said, a mother with two children with autism. I mean, tell me how effective these toys are. How diverse are they?
They really are great. I don't think getting through meltdowns and things like that would be possible without these toys. It would definitely be more overwhelming for parents without them. Like my son, when he has a meltdown, we have some Muddy Cove healers over there, and I put mine in the freezer. And when you put those on him, he calms down. And if that doesn't work, then he goes in his chair swing in his room, and we swing him. And then he starts laughing, he forgets, he refocuses, and
So tell me about piercing it together. Where does that name come from?
well, puzzle piece.
Okay.
Everybody creates a puzzle piece thinks a puzzle piece with autism, and it pretty much is that. You're piecing your life together in different little pieces. You're always here, there, and everywhere as a parent, so piecing it together.
And what should people understand about autism and parents with children with autism?
Just because you know one child with autism doesn't mean you know autism. Every child is different. And if you see someone having a meltdown, don't judge them, because that's the biggest thing that parents get, is judged. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And every child's different, so.
Well, welcome back. So this is my favorite segment on Fridays. That is our weekly news correspondent, Nadia Karitnikova, aka your favorite Russian, is in the studio to digest this week's news and events. Welcome.
Hi, Quinn.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
You have transformed. You should see yourself the first show you ever did with
Oh, God.
Filet and right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good idea, actually.
You are so proper. Anyhow, so we have a new bakery
Yes, coming soon.
coming soon. We have this meeting, this town meeting is going to be the first time for us to try electronic voting.
Correct.
And we also have Onset Blues Festival, Save the Blues
Yes,
Festival
tomorrow. And clam bake on Sunday.
Oh my God. Okay. So let's start with the bakery.
Okay, with the most important
The
stuff.
most
I agree.
important stuff. So they're almost a chain, right? This is not their first
Yes,
location.
this is their 6th location, actually.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes, they're being successful.
Yeah, it's a husband and wife.
Exactly.
Okay. They're selling cupcakes. There are also other bakery items as well. They are planning to go into the
Wareham Crossing.
Wareham Crossing. Which particular location?
So there used to be Claire's building with the jewelry store.
Yes.
That's where. Yes, they closed. That's where they're going to be located.
Okay.
Yes, in the store.
Oh, very good. So
Yes.
did they say they're going to bring anything different in this particular location?
Great question. They actually do.
Okay.
Unlike their other 5 locations, they're going to have they're going to serve ice cream, hard serve ice cream, 16 flavors.
16 flavors.
Yes, and it's actually the first location where they're going to do that.
Now, did they say where the ice cream is going to be coming from?
No, actually, that's a
Okay.
great question.
So we are going to have a year-round ice cream place.
Yes.
I mean, Cookons is kind of year-round right now, and they do sell ice cream, but I take it a bakery, a good bakery shop, you get a cupcake, you get a hard-served ice cream, that's
Yes.
gonna...
I think it has something to do with the fact that they have a legit building that they can operate year-round.
Year-round.
Yes.
And you know, they're not far away from the industrial park where Dorothy Cox chocolates are.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So, they're going to be in the plaza. Dorothy Cox is right in the industrial park. So, both goodies. If you're into fudge and chocolates,
Yes.
if you're into just cupcakes, then you know where to go.
Exactly.
This is exciting news. I cannot wait
Yeah, me
to
too.
meet them. Okay.
They're going to be opening in September.
In September.
Well, actually, I think, September is going to be their grand opening. I believe their soft opening is going to be at the end of August.
Okay. Well, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see them, to try their cupcakes. This
Yes.
is good news. All right. And then we have the electronic voting.
Yes.
This is something that the town has been fighting for the past 5 years.
Yes, 5 years.
What has changed?
When the town first wanted to implement electronic voting, there were too few companies that provided the service. Hence, there was a very high price for the service. Now, when more and more towns are implementing electronic voting, more companies starting to offering the service, and hence the price is going down.
Okay.
And now we're able to afford this.
So do you know how it's going to work?
Yes, I do.
Okay, how is it going to work?
So from our understanding, people are going to be having voters will have remote controllers, and they will have about 20 seconds to vote. They will have a large clock on the screen, and it will count down to the voting time. And once they vote, the results will immediately come out on the screen.
Okay. Now the reason behind this is, of course, privacy.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
How big of an issue is privacy during voting?
I think it's huge, honestly, because selectmen, not only on this meeting, but also on the previous meeting, selectmen said that whenever people are in minority, they feel very hesitant about voting about particular bill differently than what majority are voting.
Okay. So they are hoping for people to feel more confident and vote accordingly to their beliefs.
Yes, sorry, Quinn. There's also
Yeah.
another point. If someone has a business in town and they vote no for the bill that most people vote yes, this might actually affect their business.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So to protect people's interests as well, and also to create honesty in the process. So this is going to be their first tryout.
Yes.
How confident are they? What measures are they taking to make sure by October 28th we are ready?
Well, they already agreed with Turning Point Technology. It's a hire-based company that they will have a free trial on this fall meeting, and they already agreed. They signed all the documents, so it's going to be happening this fall town meeting. I'm not sure about technical details, but it's already set up, so it's already agreed to happen.
All right, very good. And then we have Onset Blues Festival.
Okay.
This is Save the Onset Blues Festival.
Yes.
Could you pinpoint the difference there?
Yes, I can. So I've never been on Onset Blues Festival, but from what I know, bands actually get paid to play, while tomorrow bands are going to be playing for free.
Okay, and there is a reason to why bands are playing for free.
Yes.
They got rained out for the past 2 times.
Yes.
And they didn't make any money during the show. So how did you speak to Pat? How confident is she? How nervous is she about tomorrow? Kat, sorry.
Oh, yeah, Kat. No, I haven't spoken to her actually.
Okay.
Yes, but I will.
What are you looking forward to tomorrow's festival?
Well, I'm really curious to see how many bands are going to be coming, and I want to compare it to how many bands played before, not for free. I'm going to ask Kat about this tomorrow, because I want to see how many bands agree to pay for free. That's
Okay.
all.
Yes, and they used to charge, and that's another thing.
Yes.
Tomorrow, no charges, but they're hoping that people will come and they are going to donate their money, okay,
Yes.
willingly, and also the vendors that are there,
Yes.
that they're also going to make some money in people. How many bands are there? 3 bands?
I believe 3 or 4 years.
Five bands. Five
Okay,
bands who are
thank you.
going to be donating their time.
Yes.
Tomorrow. One of them is a lovely band, a lovely person that we know. Maureen knows, who's behind the teleprompter.
It's going to last from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
in Onset.
It doesn't look like it's going to rain tomorrow.
Hopefully. Yes, it doesn't look.
Yeah, okay. And then you're saying there's a bake?
Clam bake on Sunday.
Where?
It's in Wareham, Redman Hall, I believe. Yes.
And you're going?
Yes. No, actually not.
Oh, you're not covering
Yes,
that part?
no. Because it's my day off, not because I didn't want to.
So you're not even going to pretend to be a reporter to go and get good free meal?
That sounds compelling, actually.
Yes, just wear your badge.
Exactly.
Wear your badge, and yeah, if they ask you what happened to that article, say we couldn't fit it in.
Also, I just fell into food coma after you fed me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here,
Thank you,
Nadia.
Corinne.
Okay, there's a lot going on. I'm going to see you tomorrow during
Hopefully.
the Blues Festival.
Yes.
I want to be there nice and early before it gets nice and loud. And also, I'm not sure about the clam bake. Maybe I'm also going to stay home. I like my Sundays to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was Nadia Karitnakova, our weekly news correspondent, here to fill us in the week's news and events. Save the Onset Blues Festival on Onset tomorrow from what time, Nadia? 9 to
10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The music from noon to 4 p.m. Sorry, from noon to 4 p.m. the music. So that is tomorrow for free for you and your family. Also the clam bake, that is not free to my knowledge. So okay, get your details to see if you want to go or not. With that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with more. Okay, so Noah Wombert, our intern, our colleague here at WCTV, well, he was busy learning about cellulites. Why? I am not sure. We'll find out. Also learning about tumble fly. That is going to introduce it to us, what tumble fly is, what it does. So welcome, Noah.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. I think you brought up the cellulite as an idea for this segment, Wonderful Medicine. Probably the first and last time we'll do this. So I would like to do it again, but I don't think you're going to want me to do it again.
Well, hold on first, all right? Let's get this done first.
Okay.
So tell us what you have known about cellulites, what it is.
All right, so cellulite is something that comes up in bumps and divots in the skin, usually in areas of like fatty deposits, so like the thighs or like the buttocks. So cellulite is something, unfortunately, that a lot of people are very self-conscious of, and really it's something extremely natural and something we really shouldn't like hound women on.
Okay. So you mentioned women. I mean, even men have it.
Yeah,
too.
that's
Just-
true.
Okay.
But there's a reason why it comes up in women a lot more than men.
And why? Why so?
Okay, so collagen is a protein that's very important in your body. It's actually the most abundant protein in your body. It makes up about 25 to 35% of the proteins your body makes.
Mhm.
And collagen is something that is found in connective tissue a lot,
Mhm.
and it holds the extracellular matrix together. So it kind of gives your bones and adipose tissue, the fat that makes up cellulite, its structure. And if we can zoom in here, this is a little diagram. So this is the skin, the layers of the skin. You have the epidermis, which is like what you see. You have the dermis, which is where the vascularization is, nerve endings, pores, where your hair grows from. That's where kind of the dirty business of the dermis, of the skin, is all done. Hypodermis is where fat is mostly stored in the body. It's not the only place fat is stored, but in terms of cellulite, that's where we're caring about. And in men develop collagen patterns that look like crosshatches like this. So it kind of pulls on the adipose tissue a lot and gives it a more even, like tensile force. So that's why typically you don't see as much cellulite in men, because they're getting more of a pull on the fat tissue. In women, collagen forms columns like this. So if there's irregularities in the amount of adipose tissue, it's a lot more obvious, as it'll be kind of pulled up and less one here, and it'll be like down, up and down. That'll give the bumps and divots of cellulite.
And this is true to any woman or any man. This is not to do about genetics. This is nothing to do about your bringing.
From what I've read, I think it's based on testosterone levels.
Okay.
I'm not sure how true that is, but I think it has to do with testosterone levels.
And men have more.
Men have
than
more,
women.
so that makes that diagonal pattern of the collagen fibers. One thing, I was reading a paper by Shunk et al. In the Journal of Medicinal Food, and it said that they found that taking collagen supplements helped to make some improvements in some women for cellulite. Obviously, don't take my word for it. Do your own research and definitely talk to your doctor if you
And
want to.
also exercises can
Yeah.
help. So the whole notion is you have fat, a substantial amount of fat underneath your skin, and therefore regular workouts, weightlifting can help smooth those areas.
Yeah, and really it's something completely natural, so don't get too, like...
So you're comfortable with your cellulites?
Yeah, I don't think I have much, hopefully. I don't know, I haven't really checked, but...
Okay. All right,
So, yeah, sorry.
Last point to share about this before we move on to tumbu fly?
Yeah, let's move on to the tumbu fly.
Okay, what is it? That's a funny name.
Yeah, it's a fly found in, I think, Central and Eastern Africa. Here's a little
That's
picture
why
of its life.
tumbu fly.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's almost Swahili.
So, this African fly is a very sinister pest, and
It grows in somebody's flesh?
yep. So
I have in this. Oh my goodness, Noah! My cousins had that fly.
that's terrible. I'm so sorry.
It was fun to pop them off somebody's.
Yeah. So they look like. All right. Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So, the tumba fly is one of.
The cutest, adorable flies out there.
I wouldn't call them that, but they're one of some different types of flies and insects that are able to lay their eggs and have the larvae bury into your skin, and you'll be a parasitic host to their. She's not too happy by the time the teleprompter. You'll be the host to the parasite, and they'll grow underneath your skin. According to the National Institute for Communicable Diseases of South Africa, the tumba fly deposits eggs usually on urine or feces contaminated sand, soil, or clothing. Then the larvae maggots hatch, and on contact with the skin, they are able to penetrate into your dermis,
Yes.
reside there, and grow for up to, I think, 7 to 10 days, which is horrible.
Normally flies, and correct me if I'm wrong, but flies, larvae, we find it in dead things, right, or feces, right? Not in a live human body. I mean, what are the conditions for this fly to survive? And I have to be very careful with that, because when my cousins got that fly, we wash clothes home, and we don't use washing machines or dryers, so we put everything outside. You use clothesline, and sometimes if you have an abundance of clothes, then you find yourself using trees or whatever to just,
just
dry. Yes, spreading your clothes everywhere. But the other thing that we normally do, we iron our clothes. But then I found that time that we didn't iron for whatever reason, whether the clothes were not so important or the kids were just going to go out there and play, so it wasn't so important to make sure they look well. All of them had these flies, and we thought was chicken pox. But it didn't behave the same. I mean, they had bumps everywhere, but it wasn't as pervasive as chicken pox would be, which is also very common there. That's why we weren't so concerned until I was popping a fly off their body.
Yeah, so the ironing thing, I read that is one way to prevent it. So I think people living in these regions really need to iron
your
their
clothes, yes.
Because heating up the clothes definitely kills the maggots while they're still young and before they bury into your skin and stuff.
Absolutely. And until the fly completely forms, have wings, that's when it chews off from your skin. It will stay there until it's completely developed, and then...
Yeah, I think from what I was reading, it develops into like this larger stage larva, and then it drops out into the ground, and then it becomes a full fly.
Oh, well, I was...
So thankfully it's not that horrific where there's bugs flying out of your skin, but it's still pretty gross.
It is. It's very gross.
And it, like you said, it looks like pimples just throughout the skin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except instead of pus coming out when you pop it, there's
lava coming out.
Little maggots, yeah.
Nicely cozy. They gave birth to so many lavas that day. As soon as I discovered what it was, I was popping every corner. I love stuff like this. Well, Noah, this is very interesting. Guess what? This segment stays.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that was Noah Wombat here to talk about tumble fly. Wow. I didn't even have the name for this fly, but I've met this fly. Anyway, tumble fly and also cellulites. I've learned so much about cellulites, so now I do not have to be so self-conscious with my body. It's something that I cannot control, pre-designed within. Anyhow, we're going to take a break and we'll be back with more. Well, welcome back. I have guest after guest after guest for you. Well, today we have Miss Addison Van Patten, who is the reporter for the Gatemen here in Wareham, to catch us up about the Gatemen, how they're doing so far. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for being here. How long have you been covering the Gatemen?
Since May 30th, so I'm just here for the summer.
Okay, and then what do you do?
I'll go back home to school.
Where's back home to school?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. So what are you studying? Is it communications?
It's communications and broadcast journalism.
Okay.
So there's a lot of hybrid majors that do that.
All right. And you want to be a sports broadcaster?
Yes.
Why so?
I love sports, and I was the oldest child, and so I kind of took that road with my father and loving baseball and watching baseball games with him early. And I always wanted to do news, and so I thought, why not just combine the two?
Now, I hear, and okay, my information is really doesn't hold any weight because I'm not a fan of sports. I have no idea. I cannot completely understand why people love sports, okay? But I hear that baseball, there's this notion that baseball is a dying sport. What do you think?
So baseball is hard because there's so many games in a season.
Okay.
And there's such large of stadiums because they have to hold so many people that it seems like it's getting pushed aside for football because football only has shorter seasons. They have seasons under 20 games, so it's more important for people to get in and see those 20 games and pack those stadiums in that short amount of time, where baseball has over 100 games in a season.
100
So
games.
you don't see as many people in the stands every night because there's a game almost every day. So when you just look at a screenshot of a TV game, you see a packed football stadium and a not-so-packed baseball stadium, leading people to go to the conclusion that baseball is not as important or as popular as football.
Okay, so just a misperception.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So are they thinking of shortening the games? Could it be possible?
There actually is a lot of things being tested out in the minor leagues right now, such as putting a runner on base in extra innings, having different people play different roles. There's a lot of things to starting a pitch clock so that a pitcher only has 10 seconds to throw
How many
a pitch.
seconds do they take?
45.
Well, they got to get in tune. I see them like...
Yes, but some pitchers feel that they need to get very in tune, and sometimes they don't have to, or they're stalling.
Okay.
Stalling is a tactic that they use to run a game down and things like that. So.
And why would they want to run a game down?
If they're winning. They want to kill a batter's momentum. If a batter's in the box and he's ready to go, he's ready to hit a ball, then you, as a pitcher, want to slow it down so that you psych him out, get him mentally out of his zone so he's not able to hit the ball as well as he maybe was when he had his adrenaline going.
So they're trying to make baseball more attractive.
Yes.
I mean, our world is, especially with technology, everything is instant. In baseball, it's almost, I don't know, 30 years ago. Things go so
And the games are long.
Okay. So people are having a hard time with that.
Yes.
But you're not.
No.
Okay. Die hard fan. All right. So what sports did you play?
I was a gymnast. So I did gymnastics and cheerleading and all those fun ones throughout my entire childhood and high school career.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're here covering the Gatemen. I know you're excited because this is your rally here. You love it. So tell me about this team. We have, well, there was three names that my team shared with me. Dallas Beaver, Adrian Del Castillo, Jacob Teeter. Tell me why those three individuals are very significant.
Well, they're actually really significant to the Gatemen so far this year. They are all three full contract players, meaning they've been here for us for primarily the majority of the summer. Adrian Del Castillo, he's from Miami, so he came a little bit later, week 2, I'm pretty sure. And then Jacob Teeter is actually a D2. He's from Florida. So he goes to a D2 college, meaning that he's not expected or would normally be as great of an athlete to be expected to come to the Cape Cod League. So it's really big for us to have him here, and we really appreciate him being here because he was an all-star in the all-star game, and he's done a lot of great work for the Gatemen so far this summer. Dallas Beaver, he's one of the older guys on the team. He's not normally, a lot of these players come here after their freshman year. Okay. So they're really young. They're 19, maybe 20. And Dallas Beaver is actually transferring to University of South Carolina this year, so I think he's 22.
Okay.
So he's on the older side. He's taking more of a leadership role for the Gatemen, and he's done a lot for us.
All right. So you said that you mentioned, especially the one who's coming from Division Two.
Mm-hmm.
So is it that gateman, in terms of teams, this is as high as you can get?
This is the highest level of competition you can see in California or in collegiate baseball. So there's collegiate baseball teams all over the country, but the Cape Cod League is the best of the best in college baseball.
So how do they source their members? It's just like they keep
Scouting.
different different players from different colleges.
Teams, GMs, and managers will watch players all season long and be scouting them years in advance to see that that's a great player and that's someone we want to come here and be a gateman. And they'll reach out to their schools and reach out to those players and ask them to come next year. You know, they'll talk to people a year in advance and ask them, will you come play for us next summer?
And how long do these players stay here, or do they play? How many seasons could they play?
They could play as many seasons as they want. A lot of these guys, because they are so good, they'll go and play professional baseball after their third year of college baseball.
So they get scouted even here. They
Yes.
come here and then
They come here. There's about 20 scouts from major league teams at every single gateman game.
So these are the gentlemen that we may see on TV.
Yes.
All right.
In the near future.
In the near future. Do you see any of those in the near future? Some of the team players that you have met, any of them have stuck out to you? You feel that, okay, there's a promise there.
A lot of our guys on our team this year actually have great potential to take this to the next level. Adrian Del Castillo being one of them. He was highly anticipated coming here. And Jacob Teeter, he was an all-star. So that means that he was voted on by all the coaches in the Cape Cod League to be one of the best in the league to go play in our all-star showcase, which is a game where the West Division takes on the East Division and they play each other for just kind of like just a showcase to let scouts watch and all the fans to watch all of the greatest players in the league.
So apart from, let's say, for those who do not end up to play in the major baseball leagues professionally, being part of the gateman, what opportunities does that give you?
It gives them the opportunity to see the highest level of competition they can. So they're up against the rest of the best guys in the country, putting them on the spot, giving them the most pressure, and these coaches are really looking to develop each and every player. So they're getting the highest level of practice that they can to take back to their schools with them in the fall and hopefully be better.
So, you know, both of us you are going to be doing journalism one day, broadcasting and so forth, but you're doing sports, I'm doing something completely different. When you are watching a game and you're reporting a game, what are you looking for? How do you report a game?
Stories.
Okay.
It's actually a lot like what you do. It's all about stories. My job description as a field reporter is the play-by-play guys tell all the stats. They tell the game how it is. They give everyone the information that they need. I give them the information that they don't need but they want.
Such
as our starting pitcher last night. His name's Kevin Azzi. He has a brain tumor that was discovered when he was 10 years old, that he's been living with his entire life. It's a benign brain tumor, but he has overcome that obstacle and fought through that his entire life and has still made it to the best of the best talent in the country in a summer baseball league. And so that's an interesting story that a viewer wants to know that they wouldn't get anywhere else that I'd be wanting to give them.
So it's not, you're bringing the humanity
Yes.
into the game, the
Yes.
human piece of this.
And I do injury reports too. I talk a lot about stuff. It's basically the inside look, what you can't get from anywhere else is I'm talking to the players and the coaches individually to get the inside scoop.
So tell me about these boys where, you know, some of them, you have highlighted the gentleman who has been battling brain tumor. What are the uplifting stories, individuals that make that team up?
There's a lot of character on our
Yeah.
team this year. Matt McLean, he was an all-star as well. He's one of just the most consistent players on our team. He turned down $2.6 million in the draft last year to play at his dream school, UCLA, and play collegiate baseball. It's a lot of money.
2.6 mil. And did he say why? I mean, apart from it being a dream school, what other factors went on to make his decision?
He's a Southern California guy. UCLA is right down the street from his parents' house where he grew up. He always dreamed of going there. When he got the offer, he just said yes. He didn't even look for any other recruitment, and he just knew that's what he wanted to do in his life. And he thought that if I'm good enough, I'll be able to play professional baseball after that. I don't need to go now.
You know, I can do that. Now that you're mentioning the human interest piece of it, that I can connect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very good to understand these players, apart from just being players, good players, but also they're humans, and to know that a young man would love to stay close to his parents. So touching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when is our next game?
Our next game is tonight.
All
It's
right.
at 6:45. It's at home at Splain Field, just right here down the road. It's our first playoff game. So last night we closed out the regular season, all 44 games of it. We're moving on to the playoffs. We have the first round. We have Katuitt, who we've been kind of cat and mouse with all year. They're great talent. We're great talent. We've been in an offensive struggle lately, but our pitching has really excelled. So we're hoping to showcase that and have the offense be getting back on track after our win last night in our game against Katuitt today and move on to the next round of the playoffs.
How hard do our boys work?
Very hard. They are here every single day. They're at the field every day. No one gets to go to the beach. No one is doing any fun stuff. They're running kids camps in the morning, clinics to work with children in the area and teach them about baseball. And then in the afternoons, they practice and then they play the game until they're getting home at midnight.
Well, thank you so much for being here in our studio, and I hope you can come back again.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
it.
would love to get to know these stories on a weekly basis rather than compiling everything. I mean, the season, are we closer to the end?
We're close to the end.
You see, we're closer to the end. You're almost going back home. Is this your senior year?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, so that was Addison Van Patten here to catch us on the Gatemen. Apparently, wow, I'll be there watching them. What great stories. Yeah, I can see myself there cheering for the Gatemen. So anyhow, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with Today in History before we finish it off with the coffee segment.
Right. All right. Testing 1 2 3. My name's Riley. Okay, got it.
Testing 1 2. Just will.
Hello and welcome back. I am sorry we could not have Today in History because we're running a little behind. But you can go online on history.com to learn the interesting facts about what took place today in history. So you can do that at your own time. Anyhow, with me today for the coffee segment is Riley Fortin, an actor. Also Jess Wilson, right?
Yep.
Also an actor, right?
Yep.
They're here to talk about their last play, which is
Much Ado About Nothing.
That's what I thought. And then somebody else said it was maybe Shakespeare language.
Yes.
And I wasn't saying it correctly.
No, you're good.
So, great. Welcome, ladies. I'm
you.
sorry,
Thank you.
it's a little bit hectic this morning.
That's
all
okay.
right. No worries.
So, tell me about your play production.
Okay, so our show is Much Ado About Nothing, and we opened last weekend in Onset, and we're running the next 2 weekends as well. So we have 2 shows on Saturday, tomorrow, in Fairhaven at 1 and 5 on the steps of the Town Hall. Then we have a show on Sunday in Mattapoisett at 1 p.m. at Shipyard Park. And then we're also running the next weekend after that, Friday night, 5 p.m. at Tabor Academy in Marion, and Saturday and Sunday at Wings Court in New Bedford, 1 and 5 on Saturday and 1 p.m. on Sunday. So it's a little South Coast tour.
South Coast Tour. And your production is the Glass Horse Project, right?
So Glass Horse Project and Midsummer Shakespeare are the 2 producing companies.
Okay.
And we don't have a name for the tour other than the fact that it's this combined Shakespeare production. So both Glass Horse Projects, Shakespeare in New Bedford, and Midsummer Shakespeare are very much about doing free outdoor Shakespeare, making it accessible to the public. Midsummer Shakespeare is in our 7th season, Glass Horse is in their 3rd. So this is the first time the companies have worked together.
Okay, very good. And you guys are caught up in the middle.
Yes.
So I'm curious to learn about a life of an actor. You guys are celebrities because I have yet to meet an actor until now. Okay, and who am I to say I want to see you guys Broadway? So
This one.
No, this one.
anyhow, I believe that you're both talented because you've been doing this for quite some time, right?
Yes, yeah.
Tell me how you got into it.
Well, I actually got into it when I was not much older than Riley, where I went to high school, didn't have a drama program or anything like that, and I really wanted to learn about theater. So I went and worked with Your Theater in New Bedford, which is one of the longest standing community theaters in the area. And then I went on from there and I worked for a stage company for a couple of years, and now I run 2 different theater companies, and I work a lot with making theater accessible to people. So my company, Watermelon Alligator, we spend a lot of time teaching theater to adults with developmental delay and disability. We do drama therapy. We do a lot of things that make theater accessible and allow people who might be afraid of it or need it but don't know how to get started in it to come into it. So that's sort of what I do. I'm less interested in going to Broadway and becoming rich and famous as much as making it something that everybody can participate in.
Okay.
So that's how I got started.
You
And
took
that was
upon
many.
the teaching role, and
Yes.
you enjoy the
Yep.
now teaching.
Yep.
All right, but it's still Broadway could use this. So tell me, Riley, an aspiring actor.
Yeah, well, I think I've always loved telling stories, but I didn't really start doing theater until I was in middle school. And honestly, I think my friend just kind of dragged me into it. I didn't really want to do it.
Yeah.
I was just doing it because she was doing it, but I think I just completely fell in love with it right when I started, and I did it all throughout middle school. And now that I'm in high school, I'm part of my high school theater program, and I've just been kind of growing through it. And now I'm trying to reach out to community theaters, so that's how I kind of got involved with the Glass Horse Project. So when I auditioned for them, I was just kind of hoping for the best, and I ended up getting a role, and I was really happy with it. So,
Okay, how young are you?
I'm 16.
Wow. Very matured. And I think that's what you get when you're learning about theater, because playing a role, normally you don't play a 16-year-old. You would assume there's a big role, and therefore you have to totally embody it. And it does wonders to young people, and to anybody. But, I'm curious to hear about your vision of how, when you see big productions on television, when you watch movies, and your love for acting, where do you fall?
Well, I think that anyone can tell a story. I don't think it has to be a huge movie, or it doesn't have to be on Broadway. I think it could just be a theater company out of New Bedford. But I think every story has that same worth, no matter if it's like, you know, if it has a huge budget or a small budget. So I think that wherever I can fit in the community as of right now, as you know, a 16-year-old high school student, I think that's what I'll take, because no matter what, I'll still be part of a story and I'll still be spreading that message.
You know, that is very refreshing. I'm hearing storytelling. Okay, I am now addicted to audiobooks. Okay, but
Aren't we all?
Audiobooks, I cannot function without them. But the storytelling, and normally when people measure success, okay, nowadays you have to be with where big lights are, where people, and you guys are, you want to share your passion for storytelling, whatever the story may be. And that's what's so refreshing about this. You know, the teaching, you're reaching out to those with delays, you know, to just help them betterly express themselves. And I think that's the message that gets lost when we talk about acting or plays or, you know, certain productions. So tell me about this particular production, The Much Ado About Nothing, in Onset.
So Much Ado About Nothing is one of Shakespeare's obviously most performed, most loved comedies. And we've taken it, and our director, Maura Van Voris, she has updated it to modern day. So we haven't really changed the language.
I heard you incorporated cell phones.
Yes, it's literally happening right now. It's happening today.
From Wareham Week newspaper, she was here. She said, "I don't get it. There are cell phones."
So we adapted the language a little bit, because in the original story, the Benedict and Claudio and Don Pedro and all of the people are soldiers returning from war. So we changed it to be, they are sailors returning from the America's Cup, because the setting is a yacht club on, you know, the Cape, Martha's Vineyard, sort of anywhere New England. Our set is box hedges and Adirondack chairs. And so we haven't changed the language, and that shows how timeless Shakespeare's language and Shakespeare's plots really are. But we did update the setting and make it, I think, a little more accessible to people, because they start to understand that, oh, you know, it's not just something that happened, you know, these stories aren't something that happened 400 years ago. They apply today. And that's true. People don't even realize, you know, a lot of people go, oh, I don't like Shakespeare. It's, you know, the language, it's too much. But West Side Story is Romeo and Juliet. The Lion King is Hamlet. 10 Things I Hate About You, is the Taming of the Shrew. So these themes are sort of timeless, and we just go back and forth. Every television series that has two bickering leads, you know, you think the moonlighting and all of that, is Much Ado About Nothing. It's the same sort of the two people who have this war of wits, and then, you know, everybody thinks they hate each other, and then suddenly there's that spark and they're a couple. That's one of the main plot points of Much Ado. So it's, all of these shows are timeless, and people get so caught up in the language and thee and thou and, you know, tarry, but when you see it performed and you see it sort of set modern day, you're able to use that context to understand it a little bit better.
Well. I was about to ask, what's up with the Shakespeare language? You just answered that. You know my favorite movies. If you're telling me I've been watching Shakespeare
You've been watching Shakespeare all along.
So tell me how it is to perform out in open, people you do not know. How are the nerves like?
Well, I honestly, one of my favorite parts of performing is seeing people after the show and just kind of hearing their reaction to it. Like, I love hearing an audience laugh, or I love just seeing someone after the show who just like looks so happy, or maybe they look a little bit sad if it's a sad show.
Yeah, or seeing the little kids.
Yeah,
the little kids who literally they'll wander past the park, and then they'll see you perform, and they'll come and they'll sit down and they'll sit. And they'll just be transfixed. And it's magic. It really is.
It's the sweetest thing.
Well, you love what you do. I can tell you, the
Yep.
way you express it. And you bring somebody in. You invite people
Yep.
in to feel what you feel, which is quite wonderful. So the play is not over yet because
Nope.
there are two more
2 more
dates,
weekends.
2 more
Yep.
weekends.
So
they're going to perform.
5 more days and 7 more shows.
Okay, I would love to be there and
Yeah.
to get to
Yay.
meet all the actors and to hear their stories.
That would be great.
There's so much I could ask, and I apologize that the time is so short. But
That's
you
okay.
really, I'm intrigued now, and I cannot wait.
And hopefully everybody else is too, and you'll come out and see the shows.
Quite intrigued.
Great.
Yeah.
So once again, the shows are tomorrow, Saturday, 1 and 5 in Fairhaven at the town on the steps of the town hall, and luckily the weather looks like it's going to cooperate this weekend. Sunday we're in Mattapoisett at Shipyard Park at 1 p.m. Then next Friday, which is the 9th, we will be at Tabor Academy at 5 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center. Then Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and 11th, we're at Wings Court in New Bedford, 1 and 5 on Saturday and 1 o'clock on Sunday. Every show is free. It's, come with your chair and your picnic and just enjoy the show.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, my audiences, for being with me this morning. My coffee segment guests were Riley Fortin and Jesse Wilson, both actors, and they were talking about Much to Do About Nothing. Apparently, all the movies you've ever loved and watched, you are watching Shakespeare. This concludes our morning program. If you missed us, the program will be rebroadcasted this evening at 6 p.m. Also, we'll go on our YouTube channel at Wareham Community Television YouTube. And with that, we'll be back on Monday with, I hope, a wonderful show such as this one. So thank you so much, Wareham, and have a fantastic weekend. Bye.